Hey, future UPSC champions out there. Are you ready to dive into some seriously strategic time management?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Because today we're taking all the golden nuggets of wisdom from a top expert,
Mahi, sir?
Mahi sir, exactly. You know, tackling the UPSC is a massive undertaking.
Okay, absolutely.
So this deep dive is all about making every study hour count.
Yeah,
And Mahi sir's guide is amazing. It's not just about studying hard. It's about studying smart.
that's the key.
And he's got this super motivating catchphrase that we'll reveal a little later, so stay tuned for that.
Ooh, I like it.
But first things first, why is time management like the ultimate superpower for UPSC success?
Well, think about it. The syllabus is huge EE, history, economics, ethics, the list goes on.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you've got this three-stage exam format, prelims, mains, and the interview.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. So feeling overwhelmed is pretty much inevitable for anyone prepping for this beast of an exam.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
But that's where time management comes in. It's the antidote to overwhelm. It's what helps you break down this massive goal into manageable steps.
Makes sense. So where does Mahi sir recommend we start?
With a realistic study plan, this is the foundation of everything.
Okay, so not just winging it every day?
Definitely not. He actually provides a sample schedule in his guide.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., general studies, then a break, and so on.
That's super helpful, so we should just follow that to a T, right?
Well, not exactly.
Yeah.
The key here is it's more like a blueprint. It shows you the power of structure, but you got to tailor it to yourself.
I see.
Figure out when you're most productive. Are you a morning person or a night owl? Build your plan around your own rhythms.
So it's like a personalized roadmap.
Exactly. It's all about working with your natural energy flows, not against them.
Love it. Okay, so we've got our personalized study plan in place. What's next in this time management toolkit?
Prioritization. This one is massive for the UPSC
Yeah.
because, let's face it, there's just so much to learn.
Yeah.
It's about being strategic with your time, focusing on the areas that will give you the biggest bang for your study buck.
So how does that translate into action, especially with the different stages of the exam?
Great question. So in the prelims, for instance, general studies and CS are your bread and butter. They carry a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So mastering those should be your top priority.
Got it.
Then as you move on to the mains, your focus should shift to ethics, essay writing, and your optional subjects.
Makes sense. So it's like a laser focus on what matters most at each stage.
Exactly. Okay, ready for this next one? It's called the 50-10 rule.
Ah, this sounds interesting. Tell me more.
So it's all about alternating between 50 minutes of focused study and then a 10-minute break.
Like interval training for your brain.
Precisely. And there's actually science behind it. Those short breaks can dramatically improve your concentration and memory retention.
Wow, I wish I knew this back in the day. I used to just power through for hours and wonder why I couldn't remember anything.
It's a common mistake. But with the 50-10 rule, you're not just avoiding burnout, you're actually learning more effectively.
That's amazing. So is 50-10 like the magic formula for everyone?
Well, it's a great starting point,
Yeah.
but everyone's different.
True.
Some people might find that 45 minutes of study and a 15-minute break works better for them, or even 60-20. The key is to experiment and find that sweet spot where you're maximizing both focus and retention.
Because it's all about personalizing it, just like the study plan.
I like that. You're building your own personalized time management strategy.
Exactly. It's like Mahi sir is handing you a set of tools and then you're customizing them to fit your unique needs.
That's a great analogy.
Okay, so we've got the personalized study plan. We've got the 50-10 rule. What's next?
This one's all about staying on top of your game, tracking your progress, whether it's through a journal, a spreadsheet, or an app. Visualizing your achievements can be super motivating.
Oh, I'm all about those progress bars filling up. It's so satisfying. I love using apps like Trello. Helps me stay organized and on track.
Whatever method you choose, the key is to make it a habit. And remember, it's not just about tracking, it's also about regular review. Mahi sir recommends weekly check-ins, to celebrate your wins, but also to see if any adjustments need to be made to your plan.
Like a weekly progress report, but also a chance to course correct.
Exactly. It's about staying flexible and adaptable throughout this UPSC journey.
Makes sense. All right, what else have we got?
This one's a biggie. Minimizing distractions. We all know the struggle, right? Phone notifications, social media, that sudden urge to rearrange your entire bookshelf.
Oh my gosh, the bookshelf thing. Every time I sit down to study, my entire apartment suddenly looks like it needs a makeover.
I know, right? But seriously, distractions can be a major drain on your time and energy. So Mahi sir recommends some practical solutions, like putting your phone on silent mode or using apps that block distracting websites.
Those are good tips. And what about having a dedicated study space?
Oh, that's crucial. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it should be a place where you can minimize distractions and really focus.
Like a little UPSC sanctuary.
Exactly. Okay, so far we've added some pretty powerful tools to our time management toolkit. A personalized study plan prioritization, the 50-10 rule progress tracking and minimizing distractions. But I know this is just the beginning.
You're right. Mahisur goes even deeper with stage-specific strategies for prelims, mains, and the interview.
He does.
Each stage has its own unique challenges, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So let's start with the prelims. Staying on top of current affairs has got to be top priority.
Absolutely. It's like the lifeblood of prelims preparation.
You can't escape it.
Mahisur recommends dedicating at least an hour every day to reading a good newspaper.
Like the Hindu or Indian Express.
Yep, those are great. But it's not enough to just passively read. You have to actively engage with the material.
Totally. Like I used to try to connect current events back to the broader UPSC syllabus. It's like building this mental web of how everything fits together.
Exactly. You got to analyze those events through the lens of the syllabus. Think about it. How does this news relate to economic policy? What are the historical parallels? How could this come up in an ethics question?
That's such a good point. It's not just about knowing the what, it's about understanding the why and the how it all connects.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of connecting the dots, mock tests are essential for prelims.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
Mahisur suggests using your weekends for those intensive practice sessions.
I can see why it's like a dress rehearsal for the real thing, right? You get to experience the pressure, the time constraint.
Exactly. I remember those weekend mock tests were brutal, but they were so valuable. They really helped me identify my weak areas.
And build confidence too, right?
Definitely. Plus, it's not just about rote memorization. Mock tests help you develop that crucial skill of applying your knowledge under pressure.
So it's a constant feedback loop. You learn from each test and refine your approach.
Precisely. All right, ready to shift gears to the main stage.
Let's do it. What's Mahisur's take on time management for mains?
Answer writing. That's where it's out for the mains. It's where your understanding of the syllabus, your analytical abilities, and your writing skills all come together.
And it's not something you can master overnight.
Oh, no, definitely not. It takes consistent practice.
I used to spend hours just practicing different answer writing techniques, trying to find that balance between being concise and providing enough depth.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance. Mahisur recommends daily practice for this. So find a specific time slot each day and just focus on honing those answer writing skills.
And how does this fit into the overall study plan? I mean, it's easy to get so caught up in learning new material that revision gets pushed aside.
I know what you mean. It happens to the best of us. But Mahisur has a solution. He recommends setting aside at least 2 hours every day for revising topics you've already covered.
So it's about reinforcing what you've learned, making those connections.
Exactly. Consistent revision helps solidify those concepts in your long-term memory, which is essential for writing good answers.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what about the interview stage? It's often overlooked, but it's super important.
It is. It's the final hurdle.
Yeah.
And it's all about showcasing your personality, your communication skills, and your ability to think critically.
I remember feeling so nervous during my interview, but I tried to see it as a conversation, a chance to share my thoughts and insights.
That's a great way to approach it. Mahisur emphasizes that preparation is key for this stage. But it's not just about cramming facts.
Right, it's more than that.
It's about developing well-rounded opinions on current issues, being able to articulate your thoughts clearly, and demonstrating your understanding of how things work, the complexities of governance and policymaking.
It's about showing them you're not just a bookworm, but someone who can think for themselves and engage in meaningful discussion.
Exactly. You want to present yourself as someone who's well-informed, articulate, and ready to take on the challenges of the IAS.
So it's a holistic preparation approach. Okay, we've talked about the golden rules, stage-specific tips, and even the interview stage. But there's another crucial piece of the puzzle that Mahisur talks about.
What's that?
Breaks and relaxation. It's so easy to get caught up in the intensity of UPSC prep and forget to take care of ourselves.
Oh, I know it too well.
Yeah.
Burnout is a real danger.
I definitely pushed myself too hard at times. And it just led to exhaustion and frustration.
Yeah, we often think that pushing ourselves to the limit is the only way to succeed. But Mahisur reminds us that rest and rejuvenation are just as important as study sessions.
So we're not just talking about, watching Netflix or scrolling through social media.
Not necessarily.
Right.
While those things can be relaxing in moderation, it's really about engaging in activities that nourish your mind and body.
Like what?
Things like going for walks, spending time with loved ones, pursuing hobbies, anything that helps you recharge your batteries so you can come back to your studies with renewed focus and energy.
It's about finding that sustainable rhythm, the balance between hard work and giving yourself permission to rest and recharge.
Exactly. And speaking of recharging, Mahisur is a big advocate for regular exercise.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that exercise can actually boost your brain power.
That's right. It improves your physical health, but it also enhances cognitive function and reduces stress.
It's a win-win.
Exactly. And remember, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Even a 30-minute walk each day can make a huge difference.
It's all about those small, consistent efforts. Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to touch on something that really stood out to me.
What's that?
The tools and resources that Mahi Sir recommends in his guide. He doesn't just say use a planner or download an app.
Right, he goes deeper than that.
He actually explains how to use them effectively to maximize your time.
It's all about practical advice you can implement right away.
I love that.
Like he talks about using a UPSC syllabus tracker.
Oh, yeah.
It helps you break down that massive syllabus into smaller, more manageable chunks.
So you can actually visualize your progress.
Exactly. And stay focused on what needs to be covered.
It's like having a roadmap.
Exactly. Then you've got tools like study timers.
Those are great for the 50-10 rule, right?
Perfect for that. They help you stay disciplined and focused.
I love my study timer. It's like my little accountability buddy.
And of course, there are all the amazing mobile apps out there.
Oh, don't even get me started on the apps. There are some fantastic ones specifically for UPSC.
Like Insights IAS and Drishti IAS for current affairs.
Those are my go-to.
Excellent resources. And for note-taking and organization, OneNote and Google Keep are great.
You can keep all your notes, articles, mind maps, everything at one place.
It's like having your entire UPSC study library in your pocket.
Ah, the power of technology. Okay, so it's not about using every tool out there.
Right.
It's about finding the ones that work for you.
And integrating them into your workflow.
Building that personalized system that keeps you organized and motivated.
Exactly.
Speaking of motivation, can we finally reveal Mahi Sir's catchphrase? I've been waiting for this.
Okay, get ready. It is Abjitenj.
Abjitenj, which means we will win.
That's it.
Oh, I love it. It's so powerful. Such a great reminder of the ultimate goal.
It's about believing in yourself, staying persistent, knowing that with the right strategies, you can conquer this exam.
And that's what this whole deep dive has been about, right? Equipping you with those winning strategies. We've explored so much. The personalized study plan, prioritization, the 50-10 rule, progress tracking, minimizing distractions, stage-specific strategies, the importance of breaks and exercise, and even Mahi Sir's favorite tools and resources. But as we wrap things up, I want to leave you with this. Remember, Abjitcher, believe in yourself, put in the work, and make every study hour count. You've got this.